Hi there, my friends, and welcome to the 10-minute book talk, where we talk all things bookish for 10 short and sweet minutes. I am your host today, Marie Bostwick. I am joined by the beautiful and fabulous Rachel Linden, Katherine Reay, and today, be still my heart, we are so thrilled to have one of my very favorite writers on the face of the planet, the lovely, the charming, the extremely talented Adriana Trigiani. We're so glad to have you here, my dear. If you don't know this lady's books, you should. There she is. There she is.
I can die now.
She's the queen of the big time. She's the queen of the big time, darling. And you are so, I was looking over your list of books. You've written, like, altogether, fiction, nonfiction, more than 20 books. Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
Incredible. Incredible.
That's
but
right.
Today I wanted to talk about something that's a little bit of a departure for you. Your absolutely gorgeous children's book, The House of Love, which I purchased for my granddarlings, because every good Grammy buys books for the granddarlings, and this is one. So tell us a little bit about your book.
Thank you first for having me. I love you all. And I'm so excited because I wanted to write a children's book that's an homage to my mother, who was a librarian by trade. And then she was a full-time mom. And she had 7 kids. There's 7 kids in the book. They grow up in an old house. I'm still in an old house. I'm freezing to death here in Greenwich Village. It's old. And, you know, you stand next to the windows and you need a scarf. It's scary. I wanted to set a book in Appalachia, and I wanted to tell the story of Valentine's Day and what happens when you're forgotten, because Valentine's Day it can grow to become a holiday of dread. Yeah. You know, because enough of us, and I don't know out of the 4 of us how many people broke up with us on Valentine's Day or the day before because they didn't want to get you a box of candy. It's a very popular time to get rid of, you know, somebody you're dating.
Well,
in the children's vein, it's about being, you know, the pressure of the Valentines at school and who's going to give them to you and who didn't. And you get home and my mother solved it by putting them all around the doorways, the Valentines. So you didn't count how many you got. You just, the 7 of us had a lot of Valentines. And so it was great.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. That's a really personal book. And now I'm so glad you told me this, because having read the story, I now see so much of this. And I just want to point out one little thing, and then we'll maybe go, like, the illustrations in this book.
Amy June Bay. Brilliant.
So gorgeous. And I know, Katherine, you had some questions about that.
That's what I want to know about, because the illustrations are so beautiful, but they're also so interwoven with the story, the detail. I mean, they're exquisite. How does that work? I mean, did you know Amy June Bates was going to illustrate it? Did you work together, or did she get your finished manuscript?
I went to the local Linden and I bought a bunch of children's books. My editor, Tamar Braces, who runs Viking Children's, sent me candidates. Then I went back to the store and bought some more. I have so many children's books, I've given them away, but I have so many still. And I collect them. I don't know if you do, always did. So I had in mind something, but when I saw Amy June Bates's work, I went, she did a book, I know you all have it. It's the Jewel book where she's flying, all blues. She did Joe Biden's book about Joe Biden as a baby, as a kid, a boy in Scranton. She lives in Pennsylvania. She's a mom, but she is absolutely drop dead brilliant, and I've never laid eyes on her. And I didn't talk to her when I did this book. And now here's the crazy thing, you know, this is writers, I'm just going to say it. She drew my family home and had never seen it.
Yeah.
She drew my mother and had never seen her. Now listen, my father was not a hottie like the father in the book. He is not. We laugh at that one. It's not autobiographical, because I imagine this kind of like, I would say, parallel family in a way. They have different names. They have a dog. I have a dog now. Didn't have a dog growing up. We had cats. So there was I just put a different energy on that level. I added things, but the station wagon looked like our family station wagon, and crazily, the attic in the home I grew up in had stained glass windows in the door, and she put them in, and she never saw that.
That's crazy.
I know.
But that's to what we're feeling in the story, that interweaving of the illustration and the story. So crazy stuff. That's
I
fabulous.
think it's because Amy June Bates has a big family. I
Yeah.
think it's like, if you're from a big family, you know, there's a vibe, there's a thing. You don't even have to, you have your own language.
Yeah.
Paul Thoreau said that to me about his Motherland book. We started talking about big families, and he's from a family of 7 kids, and we met on that level. So that's what this does. This was really important to me too. They don't have a lot. They don't have material things, and they make the ugly things beautiful. And I think that's an important message right now. Because even if you don't have to be materialistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God, there's so many nuggets. You just
Yeah.
dropped 7 nuggets that I wish we could talk about for a
I
little.
know.
We need this one needs to be the 60-minute book talk.
Exactly.
1,000-minute book talk with Adriana. Well, I'm curious, Adriana, so you've written so many amazing adult novels and the things for adults. And I'm curious, what did you bring to, what was different and what was the same when you started writing a children's novel?
No, nothing really. I just have a passion for words. I still will reread the books that mattered to me when I was a kid. So, I mean, pick up Pippi Longstocking and read that again, and you'll go, it's so great. Or Harriet the Spy by Louise Fitzhugh. So great. And she did her own illustration. So we know what the character really looked like. So, I just think back and I approach everything with the same attitude. I wouldn't write for YA. I've written a couple YAs. I wouldn't write differently for them than I would for the adults. And by that, I mean, if I'm in the head of that character, it's going to come out like a young person. Or a man, or whatever it would happen to be.
That makes sense.
Does that make sense?
And you said that this was there are a lot of words in this one because it's sort of for older elementary school kids who are like starting to transition to chapter books. So I've got a 7-year-old probably right in that sweet spot.
Perfect. It'll be perfect for her.
Wonderful. And I don't think there are tons of books there too. I feel like there are tons in the.
Well, there aren't. And that was important to me too, because I think that if the space for the first time reader is there's a lot that you can sift through. Well, this was a place I felt like this story fit too, because the character in the book is 5. So I wanted, and she has a lot of older brother and sisters, and from big families that the older one teaches the next one how to read, and so it goes. So this kid is sharp. She's well versed, and she's trying to keep up with the others. And in spite of all that she did, she's forgotten. And I think, now that I'm talking about it with you and you're bringing this out in me, as a grown-up, one of the things that I feel, you got to dance with who brung you, and you have to be grateful to the people that brought you, right? And I don't see that a lot. I see a lack of loyalty now. And I think the internet, the social media has a lot to do with that. It's like chasing tails here, So I wanted to write about someone who feels forgotten, but does the right thing anyway.
Love it.
We do need the 60-minute book talk.
Yeah,
we really 60 minutes and probably need it on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She really does. I will tell you something I noticed, because I'm also reading right now, because I was lucky enough to get an arc that I'm going to treasure forever. Your new book, The Good Left Behind, which has come out. It's going to come out. And when is that book coming out? Not soon enough.
Pass it around, because Lord knows I don't want you to read it digitally. It comes out April 26th.
It's fabulous. People should order it right now. But I noticed something in here. It was this a little theme, and I wondered if it was just something that you feel strongly about. I do, but children working, children helping, and children having their place in the family and their worth there's a couple of times, at least 2, maybe 3, where Mia says, I'll help. And is that something you were doing intentionally, or is that just part of the fabric of who you are?
Well, It's intentional, and it is the part of the fact. I think it's both of those things, because we had responsibilities. And you did not have to be the prettiest. You didn't have to be the smartest. You didn't have to be the most athletic, but you had to be the hardest worker. Because if you don't work hard, it was all for naught. And I think you all know this, because you're all hard workers and you come from hardworking people. It's not allowed.
Yeah.
It wasn't allowed with me. It's in me. If I'm at somebody's house for dinner, I get up and move the dishes. You do those things, even though I hate washing dishes and I was always punished and had to do it. And there were so many people in my family, I was there for hours. It's like you had chores that you had to do, but also my first job, I was 11 years old. So, which is why I don't have 400 children, because I babysat, and that'll cure you of wanting children. I have, which my mother
Well, I
at 7 was with me.
So
I
it was-
didn't scream at all. And I was like, oh, I won. Yeah.
I thought it was such a powerful thing, because it gives her a place and a value in the family and self-worth and all these things. That so many things in this book. I wish we had 1,000 minutes for this book, but my friends, if you are looking for a Valentine gift for one of the little loves in your life, this is the book. You must go get it now. It is out as The House of Love by Adriana Trigiani. I bought it for my granddarlings. Oh, and as a matter of fact, Adri, this book is recommended in my author newsletter that went out today too, along with Katherine Reay's lovely The London
Marie
House. So
Bostwick. How much do I love these ladies? Rachel,
I'm spreading the word.
Catherine, love you all.
Spreading the word. So love this book. There's no better gift to give children than books. There just isn't.
I think you're right there.
Yeah. So you all need to run get it today. Adri, thank you for being with us. We've loved it. We hope that maybe you'll come back and see us again when the Good Left Undone comes out. We'd love
We
that.
have to. This one will, it's my hit by a bus book, truly. I put everything I am into this, and I took painstaking time with it. Well, I do with all of them, so let's not even get ahead of that. But this one is about my modern Italian family going back in time.
Ooh, I love it.
Gem cutters at the Vatican. It's like the whole thing. And I did all the research before COVID. Then I just slowly did it.
It's astonishing.
Wow.
Beautiful. It's
Can't
beautiful.
wait.
But today, go get The House of Love. And thank you, my friends, for being with us on the 10-minute book talk. We'll see you next time for another fabulous, fast-moving 10 minutes when we talk all things bookish. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank